As a game master, I will let players know there is a certain line they cannot cross. My job as a game master is to maintain the flow of the game, to keep it going. No matter what you do as a player, you are not to get in the way of that. There will be time that I will give you to ask a question, right? To question what is going on. But we will not continue on some long line of argument, because if you do that, you're breaking the flow of the game. You're crossing a line that I do not allow players to cross. And if you do it without caring, you'll be carrying your ass off of my fucking table. You'll be out of the game and I will kick you out. Now, I have the nerve to kick people out, and I'm a public game master. So over the years, I've not been glued to a player where I feel like if they leave my table, I have no game. And in reality, I have a little bit more self-respect than that. Even if I needed a player to maintain a game, I would break the game up rather than run the game for a player who has no respect for me or the game or what we are doing. The Game Master is tracking many things during a gaming session. The overall adventure or campaign, the game mechanics, the group, and then even following individual things with each player character. When you ask a question during a gaming session, you need to be clear as a player. You need to be clear and to the point so the Game Master understands what you're trying to find out. Clearly gets what you're asking. If you give me some word salad, during a session, and you're doing that consistently, and because I have to try to figure out really what you're asking, it's breaking the flow of the game, I'll give you a warning, and if you can't clearly, state your question properly, and you keep doing it, you keep asking these word salad questions, and you keep breaking the flow of the game, and there's no fixing it, well, you can get the fuck off of my table. That's my opinion. I'm not going to let you ruin my time. And if somebody else can put up with that, that's fine, but I won't. I am a public game master. I am open to many different kinds of people with different kinds of attitudes. But here's what I expect from any player coming into the game. During that process, I don't want the attitude and basic conversation and basic dialogue between me and you as we're trying to sort out what's going on in the game. I expect it to be somewhat of a working relationship, like a professional relationship where you put the attitude aside, turn to me as a game master, and we try to sort something out, right? It could be during character creation or whatever. I expect that type of relationship, and I don't want an attitude in your voice, in the way you speak to me. Because if you speak to me with an ignorant tone, you'll be off of my table really quick, and you won't make it into my game. I don't care what reason you tell me that you're antisocial. It's all good. You can be whoever you are. But regardless of that fact, when you come to one of these social games, your job as a player is to try to get along with the other people you're gaming with, the other players, the game master, and your job is to make that effort without excuses. And that has to work. You can't come to the table and outside of playing your character, you're giving people attitude at the table. You're spoiling the experience. What, everyone has to bend to you? No, there is a meet in the middle where there's a respect between you and the other players and a respect between you and your game master. And you have to show it if you wish to receive it. There's some players that seem to think that they show up to the table and the world revolves around them. And everybody has to bend to them, but they have all the excuses in the world why they won't bend to other people. They won't meet in the middle. You come serve them, they're not there to serve you. Those players are off of my table very, very quickly. They have pretty much no success at all. And here is another area that I just simply don't put up with. I don't care what reason a player gives me that causes issues to the game, right? That is spoiling the game. I will not bend, and all the other players will never bend to an individual person. That person will have to sort themselves out and bend and meet in the middle. I don't care what the reason is. I don't care how legit your reason is. I'm not going to spoil my experience and become a slave to you that's not having any fun. I'm not enjoying the experience at all. And you're getting what you want as an individual person who's come here with your justified reasons why you don't have to do the thing that would make other people enjoy the game. I just don't put up with that. I've seen people come to a table, have all these excuses that seem legit to people. They allow it. It spoils their game overall for like months, but they don't even end it right away. They're having bad session, one after another, trying to bend to this person, bend to this individual. It doesn't work. It doesn't work in any case. And then you see the game crash, right? Because of that player, because it simply doesn't work. Look, I get some people are in a situation where it's not going to work with everybody they try to game with. Maybe they can find other people in their own situation and come up with a unique way to approach this. Outside of that, if you can't approach a normal game in a normal way and you bring difficulties to it, well, guess what? We know the games only work in a certain way. Those difficulties break up the game. You can't bend to them. They won't work. It won't work out. And I've seen players like this go around the hobby, and sometimes, go around the hobby for decades, wrecking campaigns, wrecking games they're in, only to finally maybe be kicked out of a game and have that eye-opening experience. If not, they keep going and going. It's like the Energizer Bunny of failure. Now, I get that not every game master feels like they're in a situation just to kick people out of their game. Maybe it's family or friends, or it's the only group of people they found they can game with, and if they kick this player out, they got no replacement. I get you. But in all honesty, if that was me, I'd kick my family out. I would kick my friends out. I would kick that player out. That means I have no game. And I would go watch grass grow than have a bad experience with a tabletop role-playing game. When I was younger, I could have done all kinds of throwaway sessions. Just threw them away to meaningless nothing, right? And to some degree, some might count my experimental sessions where I was testing out new things as throwaway, but I never did. When I first started, my mentor, my first DM said, every session should be like your last. It should be one of the most meaningful things you do. And it should never be throwaway. Something where you can just have a spoiled experience and it doesn't matter because there's more sessions to come. I've never ran the game where it was a guaranteed I'd get the next session. I came up with military people that, lost their lives for different reasons. They wouldn't be there the next week in many cases. And these were humble people in that community. And they always said you should play it like it's your last game. And I do. I run it like it's important. It's not throwaway. So I won't let people carelessly just mess with the game without punishing them by kicking them off of my table. I won't just put up with months of silliness and things that are clearly not going to work, right? I'm just not going to do it. I'm not going to bother experimenting in that way and throwing away time. It's pretty simple what we need to do to make these things work, no matter which way we approach it. At the end of the day, no matter how we play, coming up, having some respect for each other, getting along with people. Everything I said in this video should be true. It should be true to what you're doing, no matter how you play the game, no matter how you approach it, right? And that's how it works. And if you try to break that, it simply doesn't work. And you can waste your time finding the obvious out, or you can just accept the obvious for what it is, and not just throw away gaming session, because who says you're going to be here next week? Nobody. Don't live like you're immortal. Don't think these are just throwaway, because in my opinion, I would have thrown away all kinds of great sessions, all kinds of good gaming over the years. So why would you want to waste your time? Don't ever waste your time on nonsense. See it for what it is. Don't bow to silliness. If someone's trying to justify something that simply doesn't work, well, you got to explain to them it doesn't work. It doesn't matter what your reason is. Like, hey man, I need to miss every second session in this campaign. Well, then you can't be in the campaign. But I have a job and there's this reason, that reason. Well, fair enough. I don't hate you. I'm not mad at you. It just doesn't work if you keep skipping out. So you can't be in the campaign. If we were doing a one-shot, maybe when we do one-shots, you can play that. But man, I want to play in the campaign. Well, it doesn't matter what you want to do. You simply can't. And you might say, well, I can be in every second session. Yeah, but you're going to break the game, and you won't care if it falls apart. You'll get your sessions, you'll have fun, and when that game falls apart because you're not always showing up and things aren't working out, and the game master is sick of running your character as a non-player character, etc., 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 well, everyone else is out of a game, but at least you got your sessions in, right? No, you're not going to spoil the game for everyone else, even if you have a legit reason for not being able to show up every session. Fair enough, I don't hate you for it. But you're not going to be in the fucking campaign. Understand? Stop pretending that you can make something work that won't work. Where you can clearly see the results of what's going to happen, like it's not going to work out. And you're telling yourself what? The same thing that didn't work out before is suddenly going to work out? Don't do that to yourself. See things for what they are. Save yourself some time. Save the players that are in your game that are going to, come correctly. Don't put them through crap with another player. You are responsible for your table. If you have a table of good players and you're bringing in a crap player or somebody who's not crap, but hey, because of their circumstances, they're going to bring in, a negative thing to the game, and you're responsible for that, well then, any good players at your table, if you're allowing that to happen, they should leave. Forget you kicking players out. If I'm a good player at your table, and you carelessly bring in a player that's going to wreck our experience, and it's clearly going to, I'm leaving. Here is what I would tell a player when they're asking a question that's going to cut off the game master. It's going to cut off the flow. Well, imagine a game master that is cutting you off when you go to use something with your player. You want to use a skill or you want to use a power, and they say, well, you can't. Or I won't make you make that dice roll. I won't let you do that action. Why can't I? Well, and you're being delayed. You could be figuring this out, but suddenly you can't use your power. You can't use your skill. You can't use your thing. You can't even use your common sense, right? Maybe the game master says nobody hears you right now. Well, why? Well, if you were being messed with that way as a player, being delayed, and suddenly the trap is setting off, and you could have stopped it the entire time, and now it might kill your character, or it might at least push your character back, where you got to go through another area of whatever you're in, the dungeon, the forest, or what have you. All this chaos can happen from the game master fucking with you, stepping in, messing with your stuff, not letting you do stuff, and next thing you know, you're not achieving success. You're failing. Your character's falling back. And you're wondering what's going on. You're ready to get up and leave. Of course you would be ready to get up and leave. Why would you ever put up with that? Well, that's what you're doing to the game master when you're breaking the flow of the game with your silly fucking question where you're taking it too far, playing a word salad game. Or coming in saying, you can't make every fucking session. Oh, I can only make every second session or something silly like that. There are players out there that do this stuff. Or I wouldn't even bring this video up, but it still happens in 2023, and it happens frequently. Not with me, but I go to a gaming shop where I'm seeing games break up all the time. And I sit back and I observe and I listen and I pay attention because these are open public games. And then I see some games that are going on online where they're actually going to put that up on film. So I go watch some of this stuff. Not so much to be entertained, but just to observe how things are going. Right? Where I can learn something, where I might be able to help people out that aren't just in that game, but maybe make a video. Notice an issue other people are having. Right? Because I am looking to help the hobby. So, of course, when I get a little bit of spare time, I'm going to check out things live, like in person and online. And I notice these things, and I notice players that are like this. And at the end of the day, I think we should all be striving to have the best experience we can have every time we go to play a gaming session. Anyway, for now, take care. You know what you can do? You can hit the like button. You can share the video. Oh, and there's another button you can press. That one that lets you subscribe to my channel for more content. Oh yeah, there's that bell thing. You can press that so you know when I've uploaded a new video right away.